Hey guys, it's Ebony Amber and welcome to another episode of Paranormal Phenomenon with Ebony Amber. Today I'm filming from the studio of the amazing Tyler Green. If by chance you don't know who he is, Tyler is an amazing instructor, inventor, and artist of all kinds. If you can name it, he can create it. We happen to be shooting a little promo video today regarding some of the many projects Tyler and I have partnered up on. That is why I get to have this spooktacular background. If you would like to check out that video, I will have the link down below. Not only do we talk about where we are now and what we're doing, we also show the process of one of our favorite characters, the Traveling Oracle, and we go through every step showing how the creature was developed, how costume design happened, and special effects makeup and prosthetics. So it's really cool. Definitely go check it out, link below. So now that the change of location has been explained, let's get back to the paranormal phenomenon video I have for you today. The subjects my experiencers will be covering are pretty heavy, so I did want to give a warning before we moved on. If you are sensitive to stories that include childbirth trauma or depression, I suggest you proceed with caution. Both of these issues are discussed by the experiencers featured today, and I wouldn't want anybody to be uncomfortable. One of the topics will be about an NDE, or near-death experience. I know many are familiar with NDEs now, but just in case you are not, the Webster Dictionary defines the near-death experience as an occurrence in which a person comes very close to dying and has memories of a spiritual experience, such as meeting dead friends and family members or seeing a white light during the time when death was near. I just want to add that for some NDE experiencers, they actually meet people that they don't recognize, at least from this lifetime, and that's in fact the case for the story that we're going to hear about today. So without further ado, let's hear these amazing stories from two brave, intuitive, connected women, and I hope you guys learn from it and enjoy it as much as I did.
Hi everyone, my name is Amy. I live in New Jersey in a rather historical town, but the experience that I'm here to tell you about is basically where I became the paranormal. I had a near-death experience after I had my twins. My twins are 9, I have a boy and a girl. There was a lot of PTSD involved, and I really blocked it out, but I wasn't allowed to forget it, let's put it that way. So basically gonna start with, I've had pretty much paranormal experiences my entire life. When I was really little, I used to tell my mother there was ghosts in my room, which was ghost. I saw all types of things from, fine to very scary, and children are very perceptive to these energies. And I was one of those kids. I would talk to the radiator at my grandmother's or in our old house, or I would sit and talk to my stuffed animals, and my mom would be like, who are you talking to? And I'd give her a name, and she'd, okay, imaginary friend. No, I was talking to the radiator and the stuffed animals because I didn't want to actually look at what I was talking to. By the time I hit about 7, 8 years old, it was still there, but it blocked a lot. And around 30 years old, I got pregnant with my son and my daughter. On February 10th, I had my twins. I had them early. I also did not have them via C-section, which is one of the things I sort of think may have caused my experience, my death. I mean, I died. I flatlined. They were about to call time. It was not good. So what happened, and what I do want to share with you, is the experience I had basically being over there. After I had them, and I had a very rough pregnancy and a very rough labor, and after I had my children, maybe about I never felt like relief after I had them. I was still having, I was trying to hold my daughter, and I felt weak, and I said, somebody's got to take her. I don't feel good. And I suddenly just started not looking good. I was so weak and I couldn't even talk. I was shivering, and I remember my lips quivering up and down and my teeth chattering. something terrible, and not even being able to be like, get the nurse, something's not okay. So I do remember 2 nurses coming in and trying to ask them or tell them that there was something terribly wrong. And I couldn't. I was too weak to even speak. I was to the point, the shivering was like convulsing. So the next thing you know, I saw a bunch of people surrounding me, completely panicked, and I started not to be able to hear them. All I heard was what sounded like I was inside a microwave. But here's the thing, all that pain that I was in, I remember I felt it lift, but it sounded like I was in a microwave and I couldn't hear them anymore. But I was seeing them from another view and they weren't above me anymore. I was able to see them like surrounding me. I was still in the bed and I was in the corner of the room. So I was from a completely different view. So I immediately got completely confused. I felt scared. And I remember turning, and it was weird because it's like I turned strange. I turned to my children's dad and I'm trying to call his name and I'm calling his name and he doesn't hear me. And he was holding my daughter and I'm calling his name and he's not hearing me. And at this point I am screaming his name. And I noticed that like there was, I don't know, like it was weird. It was like my voice was just coming out of me. It was not coming out of my mouth, if that's the best way to describe that. My experience is really hard to articulate, especially the part I'm about to get to. I was able to see the doctor, like I said, from across the room, not from above me, but I was able to see them. They had like that balloon thing and they were, squeezing that. And I remember just really not being able to hear anything but that vibrational sound. And suddenly I was unable to see anything. I saw what looked like tons of smoke or energy, or I have no idea. It wasn't clouds and it wasn't all that. It was just like I was surrounded by energy and I saw what looked like 4 people standing in a distance approaching me. And then I got even more confused. The whole time I felt really uneasy. All I kept thinking was, what is going on? I don't have time for this. I really did. And then I kind of realized I started to hear like commotion in and out of the vibration sound. And I said, well, I think I'm dead. Like I knew, I guess, that I was. I remember. And it was like a panicked, I'm dead. Oh my God, I'm dead. I'm dead. And these people, entities, spirits, guides, I don't know exactly who they were, of course, were approaching me. And one reached out. And all I remember was wanting to ask what's going on, but I couldn't or didn't. I don't know if I could or didn't. And there was just that sound. But one thing I do remember was I felt no pain at all. And I was in extreme pain. It was really bad. And I couldn't see their faces, but they were not in doctor suits. They were in 19th century clothing, which goes along with an experience that I have had since the near-death experience, but that's for another time. This whole experience opened everything back up for me, and it's been a really long, it was a really long road, these 9 years, and it's been 2 years since I've made peace with this. So basically, as this was going on during the near-death experience, suddenly the sound started to change and it got loud. I just remember it getting extremely loud and hearing people, voices, commotion, beeping, all types of sounds. And I'm looking around and all of a sudden I started to feel the pain again. It was actually worse than the labor. And that started to feel it again. And I remember backing up from this gentleman this gentleman who was definitely not anybody I knew, not in this life, let's put it that way. And suddenly feeling a awful feeling, and almost feeling like I was getting pushed through. I can't, that part I really can't explain. But the visual of what my conscious was experiencing completely changed. The pain was back. I could not breathe. I heard monitors beep, 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 all this craziness. And I had a tube shoved down my throat so far. I felt it. And I remember looking up and seeing a light. Now this is, I'm back. I'm back at this point. So the only light I saw was the hospital light above me when I came to. Basically, immediately grabbed the tube and I tried to rip it out. And I was a bad patient, and they had to hold me down. And I do remember hearing those words, "You just coded for nearly 4 minutes. Please lay back. Please calm down, calm down." And they were holding me down, and they did give me the shocks. And that's one of the awful, that jolt that I felt, and like I said, I can't explain it. I don't know how it just flipped. Like all of a sudden I was on my back again. I was not across the room. I was not in all that energy smoke with those people anymore. I was flat on my back. The pain was back, and the pain in my throat from that tube. And they removed the tube and everything, and I couldn't speak after. I remember trying. I couldn't ask them. I wanted to ask them if I died, and that's what coded meant. The next day, my vitals, everything was really, really bad, and I needed, I think it was like a 6-bag blood transfusion the next day. But I blocked that out, and I didn't want to remember that happened, like that I even came that close, and it changed things. I started to see things, and I thought I was just overtired because I was nursing and taking care of 2 babies. But while that was all going on, I was starting to see things again. When I would wake up in the middle of the night, I would like hear them crying, and there would be somebody standing over me, and I would jump and they would disappear. Or I would like fall asleep for a little bit, say they fell asleep, and then I would see like what would look like see-through people hovering around my baby's crib. And I said, okay, I've gone crazy. I'm so tired. I'm hallucinating, and I'm having really weird dreams. And that's a whole nother story, the dreams that started after I had them and that experience. So things just started to feel really, really mixed up after I had them, because I was starting to do things that I was doing as a child again, like I auto writing as they, little minor things, that were just like, why is this happening? Why am I seeing these apparitions again? I wasn't saying anything to anybody. They always went away. It didn't last or anything. So the experience was very intense. And like I said, 2 years ago, I finally made peace with it. And, I'm here, and I'm now learning from it at this point, instead of sitting here fearing it anymore. It was not a light experience, nor was it a dark experience. I've read stories of people who have had very dark experiences, where mine was really, as I described it, mine was very earthbound. It was almost like I wasn't going, if I was not going to come back to life, I was going to be here. And when you have unfinished business, that's how that works. And that's what I think it was at the time. And I'm glad I came back, because they're 9 and they needed their mother. So, but that experience has opened up a whole new world for me at this point. It really does. It changes your life. It changes your life. It makes things, it can really complicate things at first until you answer to it, And I'd lost somebody 2 years ago. He was a close friend. And when he passed away, that was when I knew something was definitely up, because I had no idea, why he was alive and well in my dining room. And then we got the call, that he had passed, and I said, something's up with me, so that's about it. Sorry, I was nervous making this video. I've never really, I know this is kind of going up for everybody to see. I've only not recently, but about a year been talking about it. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. I even hope maybe it could have helped anybody diminish fear. Bottom line, we all go somewhere, and there's life after death. So it's been proven to me. So hopefully that's of comfort to anybody, because I was one of those people who feared it, and then even after it happened, I feared it. So everybody, take care of yourselves, and thank you for listening, and I will maybe see you again with another story. All right, thank you. Bye.
Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie McCown, and I'm going to share with you a very quick story about an experience I had up in near Munising, Michigan. This happened at the Big Bay Harbor Lighthouse. My mom and my sister and I we took like a girls' weekend, and we went up north and we were just touring different lighthouses in the area. And when we got to this particular lighthouse, as soon as we got onto the property, I felt like a change in the air. Something shifted. And I remember asking my mom if this lighthouse was haunted. She had one of those guidebooks that showed which of the lighthouses were haunted. And she looks in her book and she says, nope, this one's not haunted. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem right, but okay. So we proceed to go up to the house and start touring the grounds. Now, it should be noted that back at that time, I was suffering pretty significantly with depression. That's something I've struggled with my whole life, but that particular weekend, it was really bad. And so we got to the lighthouse, and as soon as I got on the property, like I said, something shifted, something just felt very heavy in the air. And the longer we were there, the worse I felt. I was like, this is not good. There is something in the air here. I just don't like it. But I tried to ignore it and just take in the beauty of it, because it is a beautiful property and a beautiful house. And, you know, so I'm walking around the grounds and just trying to ignore what's happening. Well, then I get over past the lighthouse, off toward the wooded area by the cliffs, and as I'm looking over the cliffs, it almost felt like somebody was pushing me and said, jump. So I told my mom and my sister, I'm like, I'll be back in the car, take your time, enjoy it, but I've just got to go. I said I wasn't feeling well and I just wanted to go back to the car. So as soon as I got back to the car, I was okay. I mean, I felt, again, a change in the air. So my mom and my sister finish up, get back in the car, then we go to a visitor center in Munising, and we tell the person working there, he's like, so what have you guys been up to, blah, blah, blah. We told him where we had been. And he's like, oh, well, that house is famously haunted, or that lighthouse is famously haunted. And I said to my mom, I told you. And he shared about his own experience there, where he had been there off season to do a photo shoot, and while he was there, he had some things happen to him that there was just no explanation for. Things moving, getting that sensation of someone standing next to him, so on and so forth. And then he told us that apparently, once upon a time, the lighthouse keeper, I think it was the last lighthouse keeper they had there, in fact, he actually died by suicide off in the woods, where I felt that very heavy feeling of being encouraged to take chances with my own life. And it just confirmed so much for me about what I was experiencing there, and the fact that it is indeed haunted. And I also think that I would imagine other people who have gone there who are already struggling with some stuff, as soon as they got there, they were like, hey, something's not right with this place and I need to leave. I don't imagine I'm the only one who's ever been through that. I've had other experiences before, like hearing music when there is no source of music. The dog barking, there is indeed a source for that. That is the puppy. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. But yeah, I've had different experiences through my life, but as far as, definitely knowing there was something there without anyone having to tell me or anyone like confirming that for me, I just knew. That is probably the most pronounced experience I've had in that regard. I have a lot of weird stories to tell. I do have a YouTube channel. It is just, if you just look up my name, Stephanie McCown, you can find it easily enough. And I share all kinds of stories there about cryptids, about the paranormal, just whatever happens to be on my mind, which oftentimes is cryptids and paranormal and so forth. So anyway, that is just one of many tales I have to tell. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to hearing stories from all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Alright guys, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, like and subscribe. Also, to keep up with all my projects, definitely find me on my social media and I will provide links down below. And remember, my favorite kind of normal is the paranormal. So if you have a story to share, reach out and contact me so that I can feature you on my next video. Thank you so much guys. Stay strange. Bye.